Welcome back. Looks like we had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we're up and running. And welcome to Dungeon World Paper Scandal, presented by Pixel Scandal. We're starting a fresh Dungeon World campaign. And I am the GM, or DM, Kurt, and we have some players. Nightson.
Yo.
Handor.
Heyo.
Gigett.
Hello.
And Oreztes.
Hi.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Man, it feels like forever since I've seen you guys.
Yeah, man. We should really hang out more, guys.
Yeah, we need to spend the next hour just bullshitting and catching up.
Yeah,
I think
it's really important that we do that.
I think that's going to be really important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Mr. GM, what are we doing here?
All right. Well, we're going to play some Dungeon World. And to start us off, I'd like to use some of the tools that we just talked about in episode 3 of the Pixel Scandal Nerdcast. So I want to go through some of these things and talk about some of the expectations I have for this game and make sure everybody's sort of on board. So something we mentioned was the campaign duration. I'm thinking this game might run for about 8 to 12 episodes. I'd like to play for about 4 hours, starting at 9 a.m. on one Saturday a month. And I think it will run for about a year. That's my hope. Anybody have any thoughts on the duration or?
I am okay with that. All right.
So if you're just viewing, make sure you're back at least once a month to check this out. All right. We talked a little bit about the level of engagement expected. PBTA games and Dungeon World is no exception.
What does PBTA stand for, Kurt?
PBTA is powered by the apocalypse. Dungeon World, this bad boy right here, written by Adam Coble and Sage Latoro, is a powered by the apocalypse game, which means it was inspired by Apocalypse World and shares many similar rules. But this one is a fantasy RPG set in a similar universe to Dungeons and Dragons, and in some ways is a bit of a love letter to old school D&D. But this game expects a high level engagement from the players. It expects you to sort of lead the charge on what your character is going to be doing, and it expects you to contribute a lot of information to the world. And so, is there anybody who's not comfortable with that level of engagement or has any questions about that?
I feel comfortable with it. I also have anxiety about it, but it'll be fine.
Yeah, I being this is my first game, I'm very uncomfortable with it, and I have a lot of anxiety about it. But
Okay.
I think I'll live.
So, well, I mean, so then that's good to know, right? It means I can hold your hand. Instead of posing open-ended questions to you, Handor, I can pose maybe questions that give you a little bit of a lead, right? Ask you this or that versus what do you do, just leaving it completely open. That way you have a little bit of something to grab onto, and you're not just left hanging out there in the weeds. Something good for new players.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know from you guys what sort of tone you'd like to set in this game. I think our typical games tend to run somewhere between like a silly serious, right? We don't get too gritty. We're not super heroic. We sort of like straddle a line. But what would you guys like to get out of this Dungeon World game?
Experience and levels. Possibly loot.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not super what Dungeon World is about, but we'll try to make sure that you're getting your experience levels and loot, and we can talk a little bit about how you get those things later when we get into how Dungeon World really. Anybody else have any thoughts on the sort of tone of the game?
I think more of a neutral tone might be our best bet, especially with a brand new player who doesn't really know yay or nay for any given ideals.
Okay, so something to be mindful of then is like we said in our podcast a little bit ago, is if we're in a serious scene, try not to undercut it with jokes. But if the scene seems to be a little more silly, then go for it. Go wild. And maybe don't get super serious right in the middle of a real hokey scene, because you're probably gonna end up disappointed if you're not getting
I mean,
that
unless
serious emotional.
unless your character's super
development.
emo and brings seriousness into everything that happens.
True.
Be true to your character.
Darkness.
Darkness,
No parents.
I saw a dead
Um,
bird today.
Oh, I miss him.
So talking about rating, our games tend to be about an R rating for language and violence.
Yep.
There's not a lot of sex, but what do you guys think? Do you have any qualms about a sort of an R rating game? Should we back it down for Twitch?
I feel like our rating is the most entertaining rating.
I don't know that we could, like, or I know I certainly couldn't.
Yeah, we're gonna cuss a lot. I think that's
it's
gonna happen.
Yeah.
We're-
I mean,
we're-
if in order for me to not cuss, I would have to pretend that Matt is little Kurt.
Mm,
And then
How we
fail
used to.
about 3 or 4
Yeah.
times a day.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, but I mean, 3 or 4 times a day of failure is better than just the unchecked hundreds of times.
Right.
So,
Okay. So,
all right,
our
we're,
rating.
we're looking at like an R rating.
I don't think Twitch has too many qualms as far as content of like what you're doing. I think it's mostly just like, no low cut shirts.
Keep your
or
shirt
just
on.
wear a shirt,
Wear a shirt.
All right, everybody, you hear that? Wear a shirt.
That's our rule. Wear a shirt.
We're gonna keep that in. Wear a shirt. All right. Well, one of the core conceits of Dungeon World is that it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy world, and so that's the genre is sort of dictated to us that it's going to be a fantasy world. I'm okay with getting a little outside of standard fantasy tropes like the Tolkien elves hate dwarves and stuff. I'm cool with. I'd be happy if we got a little away from that.
Elves and dwarves intermarry all the time.
All the time, they love each other. They're the best of friends. And honestly, when we do talk about races and things like that, like if your character is a certain race, you're going to have some input into what that race looks like. Like maybe elves look like fish people and have gills in this world, right? Because the setting isn't really defined in the way that D&D is, where everything is very specific. So as we get into that,
I feel like you pronounce Sahagin wrong.
right? Yeah. So maybe your elves look like a Sahagin, or anything else. All right. The other core conceit of this game is that there are dungeons.
Are there also
So-
dragons?
There do not have to be dragons, but there
It's
are
their
dungeons.
world.
Yeah, there must be a world and there must be dungeons.
Yes, and there must be. It must be a fantastical world filled with dungeons. So if you guys don't want to go into dungeons and look for stuff in those dungeons, then we're gonna have to talk about that because we have to make some sort of oh my god, my PC just died.
Well, the good news is we can still hear you, so you can keep talking.
Yeah, the good news is they can still hear you, apparently. That was weird.
Yeah, my computer just restarted.
So,
So
That's
why don't you
Windows.
guys talk a little bit about the types of characters you're interested in playing in this game?
yeah, so while the GM is restarting his PC, or while it's restarting itself for him, let's discuss what kind of characters we're interested in playing, guys. We had kind of started this conversation off stream, so we guess we should continue it here. So Matt, as our newest player, do you have any character type that you're leaning towards that you'd like to explore?
Yeah, I'm thinking, looking at the PDF, I'm thinking fighter probably looks pretty good for me.
Okay, so one of the main things about a fighter is their signature weapon. It's the thing that makes them them. This is their Excalibur, or their nothing else is coming to mind right now. But it's
Their
their
Buster Sword.
Buster's. Yes, their Buster Sword. What kind of signature weapon are you thinking about for your fighter? How does your
Honestly-
fighter fight? What makes him awesome?
Honestly, I was thinking about him being like kind of like an ex kind of gladiator type. So I don't know how to incorporate a signature weapon without, or how do I say this? With him using like his hands mostly.
Okay,
I'll-
so you can actually declare fist as your signature weapon.
Okay. Perfect.
That is actually a thing you can do.
Okay.
And Katie, I saw the smirk. Back it down a notch.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I just smirked. I'm staying within the rated R.
Oh, okay. That one went over my head.
You fist anything you want, man.
Okay. Gotcha.
There's no limit to your fisting potential.
Your
Oh my
signature
gosh.
fisting.
Okay.
All right. Well, awesome. Cool.
Welcome back, Kurt. Matt will be a fister in this game, just to catch you up.
Yep. Fighting fister.
Okay, well, I'm back. Hopefully that fixed some things. And I sound like I'm in a tunnel. Oh, I know what I did do.
Okay. And you are back on stream. So there we go. Yay. GM's back.
Hooray! Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. So great. A fighter. That gives us at least a starting point for where the rest of us should try to fill in. So
So are we gonna go through and kind of build each person's character like step by step for the streams to get people kind of?
are we doing each character individually, or you
Yeah.
mean all our characters at the same time?
No, like individually, like say, okay, we're gonna do like Matt wants to be a fighter. Okay, well we're gonna, pull up the fighter playbook and kind of step through all the options and then kind of go over everything until his character is fleshed out and then move on to the next one. So that way we can get like all the different classes, exposure to people who might not be familiar with the system or what any of the playbooks do or anything like that.
I don't know, GM. What do you think? How are we going to handle character building?
Okay, so wow, so I missed a little bit there as my computer blue screened and restarted for me because it thought that was necessary right then. I would like to sort of discuss. I think you guys already talked about what characters you're interested in playing.
Yeah, the question was, are we going to build each character individually? Like we're going to go through the Matt's character and build the fighter now, and then build all the other characters, or are we going to try and do it all at the same time?
So I think what we'll do is everybody select which character they want to play, and then we'll go through the steps, and we'll let each person do their step, and then we'll move on to the next step.
Okay.
Rather than build every character or one character all the way through and then move on to the next one.
Okay.
We'll do each step individually
So
and then move on from there.
Matt has selected fighter. So who is next?
Well, what do you and Gordon want to play?
Well, fighter was definitely up on my list, but of course Matt decides to ruin it for everyone like he usually does.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Same
I
here.
heard something about fisting. Is Matt wanting to be a punchy fighter?
He's going to be a fisting fighter.
A fisting fighter. Got it.
My next thought was Bard. I definitely had a fun idea for Bard.
Okay.
What are you thinking,
Yeah, but what are you thinking?
Oreztes?
Mike?
Pretty much the same. I was going fighter and then bard and the cleric.
Well, that's good that neither of you said wizard, because that's what I wanted to do. So if neither of you care, I will call wizard, and then you guys can arm wrestle over bard and then go from there.
Well, I feel like the bard could pick up the healer role. Were you planning on doing like a healer type build, Gordon?
Yeah.
With the bard? Okay.
Yeah.
Then I will not do cleric.
If you want to play wizard, I can play something else.
No, I don't like.
I've got other backups.
No,
Okay.
I won't. I refuse to play wizard outside of 3.5.
Oh, right. I'm sorry.
Great. All right. So the way that building characters works in
Well,
Dungeon World.
Oreztes has not picked one yet.
Oh, you haven't chosen.
He's picked not a character.
All right. Well, so far we have a fighter, a bard, and a wizard. Let's talk a little bit about the type of world that we're in while you think about what character you want to get to.
Sure.
So one of the things I want to go around the round robin this, and I want everybody to just say one thing that they don't want in this game. I mean, if that can be animal companions, that could be elves, that could be forests, whatever it is. Is there a fantasy trope that you are done with? Mine is the like colonialism, like England running around conquering everyone. I'm kind of done with that trope.
Okay. Can I go next and try to ruin Mike and or Oreztes and
You mean again?
Nightson's? Yeah, again. I'd like to remove. I'm just trying to make a wild guess here. I'd like to remove bionics. Anything bionic.
No future tech.
From the
Yeah.
fantasy game?
That does it. I would like to remove Matt.
That was actually going to be mine.
Well,
I'm tired of that fantasy trope. Always having someone named Matt in the group.
yeah.
So, Matt, when you say no future tech, obviously, I mean, we're not doing like cyberpunk or anything futuristic, but how would you feel if, like, there were artifacts that come up that are magical in nature that also feel kind of like technology?
Oh no, that's fine.
Okay. Just
I
we're
think-
trying to figure out where the line is there with your tech.
I think he was just being a smartass.
I was being a
Well,
smartass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
totally.
mean that's the Matt.
So I mean, if there's nothing, like if
Personality.
you're cool with all the standard fantasy tropes, or if there's nothing that you'd like to nix from the game, then we can move on.
I can't think of anything that I would want to get
I'm
rid
tired of dungeons. Dungeons just everywhere. They're getting old.
All right.
I'm tired of the having
Worlds. Too.
world
Worlds.
Worlds and dungeons
and
or dungeons
and or
within.
dungeons. Yeah.
You know what I'm sick and
Navigation.
tired of?
Worlds.
I'm sick of the fantasy trope of starting under level 5.
Well, fortunately, Dungeon World doesn't really work the same way that most
RPGs. work.
RPGs or most fantasy RPGs do. So the levels aren't as big a deal.
Yeah, they are. For my builds, they're very important.
Okay. Something else that I want to talk about is the script change. So it's a safety tool if you didn't catch our Nerdcast earlier. So this is if you have anything that you don't feel comfortable exploring, not just fantasy tropes, but content-wise. For me, sexual violence is always on that list and is currently at the top of the avoid list. But if anybody would like to add anything, you're welcome to shout it out, or I will also send out a link to this Google Doc so you can add things later anonymously if you wish. But if anybody would like to add anything now, let me know. Like if anybody's afraid of spiders or there's just stuff they don't want in the game.
I have a phobia of
Exploding
teddy
children.
bears.
What?
Little kids with teddy bears.
Mm.
So do you not want little kids with teddy bears in the game, or? do you
I
want me to
mean,
add that to the
children
list?
are fine. Teddy bears are fine. Just not together.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't want me to use little children to blow up to attack you.
Yes.
Okay, no evil little children.
No evil children.
What I heard is she wants a world where children do not get teddy bears.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
They just have to
I'm
look at
evil.
them. They have to look at them longingly through a window.
Yes.
So cruel.
Teddy bears are relegated to the realm of adults. They're like the alcohol of Dungeon World. You must be 21 to purchase
Mike,
one.
Mike, are you saying teddy bears or titty bears? Just to be.
Teddy bears. Matt,
Okay.
because this
Gotta
is
enunciate those.
suitable
Damn,
for
man.
children.
Damn.
Yes. No attacking me with children.
All right. Well, have you come to a
Wait a minute.
consensus
I
there?
have a question. I
Yeah.
need to be very clear about this.
Yes.
When she says no attacking her with children, does that mean no children attacking her, or does that mean I am not allowed to wield a child as a weapon?
Both.
Damn it.
Sorry, that can't be your favorite weapon.
God.
Favorite
I
weapon.
guess I'm
child.
not gonna be a fighter then.
All right. Well, we already have a fighter. So have you picked a character?
I think I'll go ranger.
Ranger. Okay.
Ooh,
All right.
stepping out of your comfort zone.
I know I'm very not comfortable.
I think if I'm gonna be stepping out of my
You've never
Just-
played before. You don't have a comfort zone.
preferably not ever playing a RPG at a tabletop would be preferably, something I would.
Yeah, I
know.
think you're already stepping out of your comfort zone just by being here.
Yeah. So everyone has to play characters they're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and add your guys' class to your character sheets here in Roll20. So you said you're going to be a ranger, yeah?
Sure. It was between ranger or thief, but I'll go ranger. We don't need traps. I'm not comfortable with the traps and the fantasy tropes. So we not have any of those. Thanks.
No
Okay.
traps.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm okay with traps, but no 10-foot poles. They can be 9 foot. They can be 11 feet. They cannot be 10 feet.
No 10-foot poles. All right, so Handor, what class did you choose? Fighter?
Fighter, yeah.
Okay. And then who haven't I given a class to? Nightson. And you were Bard, yes? Ah, you already did it. Look at that. Look at you guys knowing how to use Roll20.
That would not be me.
Fucking overachiever.
All right. Well, who wants to go first? We can work our way through building out these characters. I mean, we've already done step 1, which is to choose a class.
What is step 2?
Step 2 is to choose a race. So if you're looking at the document for, which of course closed on me when my computer died. If you're looking at the playbook, you'll have a list of races that are available to you.
I'm not seeing that.
It'll be
In with the classes.
it's
said-
on the class playbook. It's one of the options.
Yeah.
It's not in Roll20. Let's see.
Quick question.
Mhm.
I'm thinking that I'm just going to be a human.
Okay.
Human. And what are those just suggested names at the end, or are those?
Okay, so the names on the thing you can choose from that list, or if you want to play Advanced Dungeon World, you can make up your own.
Oh, that's advanced.
No, it's do whatever you feels good, man.
Okay.
You can
No,
definitely
no,
make your own
definitely
name.
don't do that.
Those are some suggestions that are right there. If you can't think of anything, you can totally use those. If you want, you can hit up Don John and
Or fantasy
Roll a random
name
name?
generator.
fantasy name generator, or you can just make something up. I mean, you could be, Matt the Brave if you want.
Okay.
Might make it a little difficult to tell when we're talking to your character and when we're not, but
Yeah.
yeah. So let's start with you. So you want to be human.
Yes.
So that means that once per battle, you may re-roll a single damage roll, yours or someone else's.
Ooh.
That's the benefit you get from being human.
So I get to really troll some people if I wanted to.
Yeah, technically you could lessen someone else's damage roll. All right, so here in your character sheet, go ahead and where the race thing is, go ahead and write human and add in that little line that says you can do that.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna be human. Who wants to go next? Anybody else know what race they want to be?
Trying to pull up the PDF. You shared it in Google Docs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the play sheets PDF.
Yeah.
Let's see. I can actually tell you what are your options.
Is it
Or you can hand me
acceptable?
the book that's in your hand.
Is it acceptable for me to just write once per turn I get to troll a roll?
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't it once per
Once per
scene?
once per
Combat.
Day or something? Once per
Yeah,
combat.
Once per combat, you can re-roll a single damage roll.
Once per combat, get the troll
So-
roll.
So the wizard's options are human and elf.
Okay.
Now, if that doesn't speak to you, if that doesn't really jive with you, then you can always pick something else or come up with any other fantasy race or make something up weird, and then we'll come up with a race move.
So what are the moves for the two different races?
So for the elf, magic is magic is as natural as breath to you. Detect magic is a cantrip for you.
Oh,
You get a
right.
bonus cantrip.
I read that yesterday.
And then if you choose human, you get to pick one cleric spell,
Right.
and you can cast it as if it was a wizard spell. It doesn't give you a bonus spell
Slot. It
slot.
just
It just
gives you a
you can
cleric
prepare.
spell.
It just gives you one more on your list of
Right.
spells.
I read that when I was in the book, but I could not remember off the top of my head.
Mhm.
I think I'm gonna go elf.
You go elf.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and add that to your thing there. Oreztes, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I actually changed my class over to thief, and I'm going to go. So the human has a thing for spout lore and discern reality. What
Mhm.
what are those? What do those do?
Let's see here. All right, so let me get to the thief. Okay, so the human, you are professional. When you spout lore or discern realities about criminal activities, take +1. So in Dungeon World, the game is fiction first. So you're gonna move through the world, establishing the fiction, saying what your character does, describing the cool shit that your character is doing. When you describe your character doing something that triggers a move, like discern reality, say you walk into a room and you say, all right, I'm going to search through the desk. You're discerning realities. You're trying to figure out what's going on here. You walk into a room and there's a pool of lava in the middle and you say, yeah, I think this is an illusion. I want to discern realities, right? You wouldn't tell me you want to discern realities. You'd say, I want to inspect this pool of lava. I don't think it's real. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna stick a 10-foot pole in it. Sorry, a 9-foot pole in it, see if it burns, right?
11-foot pole.
That you saying you're doing that triggers the action or triggers the move discern realities.
Okay.
So similarly, if you wanted to know something or say that your character knows something, you would spout lore. So when you spout lore, discern realities about criminal activities, meaning if you're a thief, there must be a crime.
Mhm.
There must be crime in this world,
Yeah.
and you are aware of it. So when you try to say, oh, well, this is obviously this kind of con, or you see these markings, these are thieves markings, I know stuff about this, you can spout lore, or you can, when you're searching for things that are based in criminal activity, you're going to get +1.
Okay. Cool. In that case, I will go with human.
Okay. So go ahead and add that to your thing there. Nightson, what are you going to be?
Human.
Human. All right. What does the human do for you?
I have friends everywhere, and they will accommodate my awesomeness wherever I go because they know how awesome I am.
Okay. All right. So when you enter a civilized settlement, someone who respects the custom of hospitality to minstrels will take you in as their guest. Okay, cool. So you can find a buddy anywhere you go, and they'll let you
It's
stay with
weird
them.
because the paladin playbook says that too, but it also says minstrels, implying that a paladin is a minstrel.
Yeah, I think that might have been an error. That
Does
might
it
not
really
have-
say that?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what's funny is I read Bard first, then read Paladin second, and I was like, do all of them just say this?
That's awesome. All right. Well, step 3 is to choose a name. If you don't have one, we can always come back to that one, of course. Also, you're going to choose your look after that. So on your in Roll20, it's just a blank area, but if you're looking at that PDF, there are some suggested things there for you. And so you're going to want to just go ahead and update your sheets. All right. Well, it looks like Gigett chose hers. We have Adelaide. Can you pronounce that?
Ulari.
Adelaide Ulari. All right. And what does Adelaide look like?
I don't know. I haven't gotten that far yet. I just came up with a name. Step 1. That's what you told me to do.
All right. Well, why don't you think about your look a little bit? Anybody else have a name for me?
Yep, there we go. Nope. Man, the name is the hardest part of the whole character making thing.
We can definitely come back to that.
Okay.
All right. So if you're not ready to do your names or your looks yet, we can always come back to those at the end. Sometimes I like to do my stats before I do that to sort of decipher what my look should be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want, we can move on to stats.
All right.
All right. So everybody's going to assign a 16, 15, 13, 12, 9, and 8 into one of your 6 stats. So the stats in this game are strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And you're going to choose one of those. The bonuses aren't the same as like the typical D&D stats. So a 16 is a +2, 13 to 15 is a +1, 9 to 12 is a 0, and 6 to 8 is a -1. So one of your stats is going to be a -1 bonus. Several of them are going to be 0 or +1, and then you're going to have 1 + 2. Do you guys need that list of numbers again, or you want me to put it in the chat?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna lie. I have no idea what you just said.
Yeah, that's a lot of things you just said.
Okay.
I mean, I got what you were saying, but that was a lot of rambling.
All right. So on your sheet,
don't know.
I think for me,
I
the
think
best way
for me to pick my stats would be able to look at the moves that my character is going to have, and then from that base what my stat should be, right?
Sure. That's a great way to do it. Okay, so if you look at your character there, you're gonna have some special moves that your character specifically is good at, and then you're also gonna have the basic moves, which are the kinds of things that only that everyone can do. So basic moves are hack and slash. Which is if you want to attack someone in melee, like you want to swing your sword at them or hit them with your fist, you're going to roll hack and slash, assuming that you have a way to reasonably damage them with that. You also have volley, which is sort of that's your ranged attack. So you have a bow or you want to throw something at somebody, that's going to be volley. Hack and slash uses strength or dex, depending on the weapon you're using. Volley uses dex. Then there's the other basic moves are parlay, which whenever you try to convince someone to do something and you have leverage over them, then that triggers the parlay move, which will use your charisma. Let's see. So if you wanted to defend someone, say you want to, you've got a shield, you want to jump in the way, or you just want to stop someone from getting harmed or something from getting harmed, that uses your constitution. So you're going to roll plus con when you do that. If you want to spout lore, that's going to use your intelligence. And I think discern realities uses wisdom. Yeah. So if you try to discern realities, say you want to look around a room, see what's there, you're going to be rolling wisdom. So those, I think that covers all of the stats there. On top of that, your character is going to have specific class moves that they can do. So for instance, let me get to Handor here. So you're a fighter. So you're going to have a lot of moves that focus on strength, right? Like you have bend bars, lift gates, which lets you roll strength to break things. You have signature weapon, so you're gonna have to make some choices about what your weapon looks like and what type of things it can do.
Mm-hmm.
But mostly you're probably going to want a decent strength or dex if you choose a precise weapon. So The stat array that I mentioned earlier is what you're going to put in those stats. So one of them is going to be a 16, giving you a +2 bonus. So that's probably going to be whatever you're really good at. One is going to be a 15. One is 13, 12, 9, and 8. All right, I'm going to put that in chat. So whatever you put in your 8, that's going to be a -1. So keep that in mind. If you want your character to be good at something, definitely don't put the 8 in there. But something else to consider is whenever you fail a roll in Dungeon World, you gain experience. So if there's something that you think should be that your character might be bad at, but you want to do a lot, then go ahead and throw that -1 in there, because that's going to probably get you more experience. So like, for instance, if you're playing the fighter and you know that you're going to be searching rooms a lot, but you want to get some experience out of it because you're like, I'm pretty tough, I just bumble through things, I'm going to throw my -1 in wisdom. That way, when I roll discern realities, I can get that XP. Something to think about. And also the way, what kind of stories do you want to tell about this character? Are they sort of a ignorant character? Are they a weak character?
So I'm maybe an idiot, but let me get this straight. So are these hard numbers that we're using for our strength, dexterity, constitution, and wisdom, charisma? Or are you just using? Oh, okay.
No, those are the numbers that you're going to use.
Okay.
Yeah, so like if you want a high strength, then you're going to put your 16 in strength.
Yeah, I'm assuming being a fighter, that's where I want it, right?
Yeah, probably. So on your sheet there, you'll see a little 10 next to the name of the stat. So you're going to go ahead and throw, just enter those in there as you find them useful. And then we'll figure the sheet will automatically do the modifiers for you, which is awesome. All right. So as everyone's doing that, let's cut back to some people. Anybody else have a name that they want to, or name and a look?
I had a name. I was writing it out. I want it. Hang on.
So am I getting this right? Really, int is the only super important stat for a wizard in this game?
Well, I mean, if you want to be discerning realities a lot, then you're going to be rolling whiz. If you want to defend people, then you're going to be rolling con.
Right.
Take a look at the basic moves as well. Int is the important stat for all of your class moves, though.
Dex is useful if you don't want to get punched in the face.
Right. The one move that I did not mention is probably the one that we're going to use the most often, which is defy danger. So when you do something and it doesn't specifically trigger a move, but there should be a roll, like you want to get out of the way of a rolling ball, or you want to dodge a fireball, or you just want to jump over a chasm, or maybe you're trying to talk to someone who uses a different language and you don't want to insult them. You're going to defy danger. So what I'll do is I'll clearly define the danger for you, like in the example that you're talking to someone and don't want to offend them. That's the danger, right? Is that you fumble or you say something inadvertently that would offend that person. So then you're going to roll defy danger. You're going to roll 2d6 and add your charisma. So if you get a 10 plus, then you succeed. You defy the danger. This is the same for every PBT. I don't think I talked about this yet. The way every roll works is you roll 2d6 and add your add whatever stat is appropriate. And then if you get a 10 plus, it succeeds. You did the thing. Sometimes there might be some options for you, like maybe if you're trying to hurt somebody, you can do a little extra damage and still take some damage back. But mainly, the action succeeds. On a 7 to 9 result, you did a partial success, right? You did the thing, but at a cost, or you jumped the chasm, but you lost your bag. Stuff like that happens. On a 6 or less, something bad happens. It doesn't necessarily mean that you failed. It means that I get to do something to you now. Now, in this game, I don't really get a turn as the GM. You say what you're doing, we roll the move, and then I make moves back based on the roll. So if you say you want to fight somebody and you roll a 7 to 9, you're trading blows, right? That hack and slash covers more than just a single swing of your sword. It covers a back and forth for, several exchanges of your weapon. So you hit them, but then also you're going to take some damage too. If you get a 6-, maybe you go in, but they outmaneuver you and stab you and you take some damage. Or maybe they knock your weapon out of your hand and it just falls to the side. You don't always have to take damage when you do things, but it is one of the things that can happen as when I get to make a move. Something else, if you get a 7 to 9, if you get a 6-, I get to do a hard move, which is going to be a little bit more dangerous for you. And I'll typically sort of like, if something's going to be really dangerous, like you may die if you fail, I'll definitely tell you that before you make that roll. You're gonna get a choice, right? It's gonna be, okay, well, I mean, you can charge this ogre, but he's got his club, ready. If you fail this defy danger, it's coming down on you and you're taking, a D12 damage or something like that, right? So I'll kind of give you the consequences of your actions sort of beforehand most of the time. Unless they're pretty obvious, like you're trading blows, right? So the nice thing about that defy danger move is that you can use whatever stat is appropriate. So it's not always dodging out of the way of a firewall. It's not a dex save like D&D. It's a, how do I avoid some worse outcome? And I need to roll dice. All right. How have you guys been doing with your stats there?
My stats have been done.
Mine have also been done.
All right.
I just finished mine up. I don't know how you guys linked them, but
I just did a screenshot.
Oh, do you actually need me to send those to you?
Yeah, go ahead and put them in the chat there in Discord. That way we can get them up,
that's
up
right.
on the. Up
The
on
way
the
our
stream.
lovely assistant.
Yeah.
The powers
Our
that be.
wonderful producer is adding your stats to the overlay as we speak. So get those in there. Okay.
You know what? I decided I wanted to be an immolator. Not really.
All right.
I gotta
Uh,
say, Emulator was kind of fun. In
Yeah.
the one game we ran 1,000,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Um,
But I just didn't want to play Pyro again. I just want to walk around and set the cities on fire, set the dungeons on fire, burn all the loot up.
all right. Well, it looks like you have a name in there. Oreztes, what do
Yeah.
you want to pronounce that for me?
His name is Threfort Iundicilian,
Of course.
which if you say it fast, it's 340 Iundicilian, which is the total number of possible IPv6 configurations.
Okay. Let me write that down there. And then what does he look like? You want to describe your character for us?
He has a lithe body, shifty eyes, and he's wearing a hooded cloak with some dark, fancy clothing under it. He's got a little, bandolier, little potion bandolier across his chest. Some pouches on his belt for holding, coins and various small miscellaneous items that may have found their way onto his person.
Okay. All right. So pretty wrapped up.
Yeah.
A lot of dark colors.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
Good for blending into the shadows.
Nice. Anybody else want to add? Let me know what their character's name and sort of general look is.
I am the wonderful William.
The Wonderful William.
A wonderful William. Not just the okay William, but the wonderful William.
Hey, that's an earned title.
I
They don't just hand it out.
All right, wonderful William. What do you look like?
I am well dressed with a very fashionable hat.
Very fashionable. Is that like a big hat, or is it? I mean, how?
Well,
how
that's the
big is
thing.
that hat?
It depends. You
Oh,
gotta,
what's the fashion at the time?
yeah, it's very critical. You find out what the given fashion is for any given
Right.
engagement, and go appropriately.
Okay.
How
okay.
big? How big is the feather?
Well, right now it's about 3 feet long.
Okay.
This particular fashion that was the last engagement he was at, it called for a 3-foot feather. But we'll see how things go.
So his hat changes. It's always whatever the fashion of the location is.
Of course, yes.
Okay.
The first thing when you enter a new town, it's like, all right, got to hit up the hat shop.
All right.
I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. I can get myself a new fancy cloak.
feel like you and I are going to get along really well. So Adelaide is she's very attractive, very flashy. Her job is to look good and strike a good pose. Her job is to make other people look good while doing and a new car kind.
What are you, my assistant?
I was a magician's assistant. Yeah,
So Adelaide was a magician's assistant?
I was a magician's assistant. Yeah, and so I obviously I did some of the magic myself as well, being a wizard. But that's where I learned my skills.
Okay.
Was from learning from the magician that I was.
You guys are
assisting.
taking away my player agency by determining my very first advancement that I have to take at level 2 now, which is wealth and taste.
Okay. So far we've got a pretty fancy group here.
And then there's Matt, the fisting god.
Handor, what's your name and your look?
My character's name is Forrest Jedrick.
Jedrick, all right.
I spelled it with a J, Jedrek.
Yeah, okay. What does Forrest Jedrick look like?
Well, he doesn't wear a shirt.
No shirt. Does he
That
still
is
get
rule
service?
1, no shirt.
I thought that was rule 1 to wear a shirt. I thought that was one of our
No, that's
critical
that's
bylaws.
Twitch.
That's the
Twitch
Twitch
rules.
law.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Players
I'm-
have
In
to wear
character,
shirts.
out of character.
Characters do
I-
not need shirts.
I am full nipple.
Okay. So describe Forrest's build and general look. I mean, no shirt, but are you wearing any armor or
One large nipple in the center of his chest.
I actually wear very minimal minimal clothing actually for growing up a fighter. I actually grew up being a fighter.
You think
Okay.
someone should explain armor to him.
Mhm. You
Well,
want
armor-
to be a barbarian.
Yeah, I mean, you're describing a barbarian to me because the fighter has a move called Armored, where you ignore the clumsy tag on armor you wear. But that doesn't mean that you have to wear it. It just means that you're good at wearing armor. Is that something you want to?
Well, I feel like does the armor have to look a certain way? I mean, couldn't my armor be minimalized?
Yeah.
In God of Warrior, armor is a shoulder pad. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all I have is
He
very
bought his
minimalistic.
armor at a female MMO character's armor shop.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So he's a
Yeah.
cross-dresser. All right. That's it. That's an X card for me. So let's fast forward.
See. All right. So minimally armored.
It's not really. Cross-dressers are cool.
Well, I wouldn't say minimally armored. I'd say I'm definitely armored. It's just that armor is a hindrance to me experience-wise, right?
Plate mail arms and legs, but the chest is exposed.
Right.
Because I want to be able to move and punch. I need to fist very hard and very well.
Okay.
So
This is gonna go bad.
Awesome.
I'm not gonna
you're
be
a
able to
hard
stop
fister.
laughing.
I got it.
I mean, I feel like if he's just super good at fisting, all he would really need are like plate mail gauntlets, and that could be his armor. Because if somebody attacks him, he could just be like, block with my fists.
Pang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can like I'm
Hey.
totally wearing let's say I'm totally wearing like just like some legit bracers or
Mhm.
like this like the one shoulder to be able to like just drop my shoulder to protect myself standing
Yeah.
sideways.
Okay, cool. So you have the like very stylized armor.
Yeah.
Now let me interject something real quick, Matt. Are
Sure.
you a bruiser or a dexterous fighter?
Yeah.
I would say bruiser. I would
Okay.
say no, let me take that back because like I feel like I don't know how you guys
Are you like a swashbuckling?
Well, here's the thing. So like I have minimal training like RL in jiu-jitsu. And that's dexterity. That's dexterity, right? That's like
Mhm.
all about not like punching people in the face as hard as you can. That's about like being able to control somebody and make submissions and stuff like that. So I wonder if dexterity wouldn't almost play into something I already understand naturally.
Sure.
Is that
The reason I'm asking is because
Uh-huh.
you actually can take like one of your signature weapon abilities is precision. So you can fight with strength or you can fight with dexterity.
Yeah, I mean maybe you have fist weapons. Like you can choose fists. That's one of the options there.
Yeah.
So and you can take precision, which means your fist weapons use dex instead of strength.
Okay, yeah, let's I have to apologize to end the line, but maybe I should swap that out then.
Yeah, sure. So you're just gonna swap your strength and dex?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the problem with that is that if you're going to use one of your 2 signature weapon bonuses on precision, then you're not going to be able to have huge, messy, and forceful fists.
Well,
It's unfortunate.
that's well, that's
Well,
just
I don't think you would have huge, messy, forceful fists anyways.
Why
If
not?
they're precise, I doubt they would be huge and messy and forceful.
Oh.
It's got the Hellboy
So-
thing going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
right.
it's
The one
of
big
each.
fist.
and I feel like my what's the word my stature or my physical how I look
Yeah.
outside of armor is just I'm not huge. I'm not like super muscular or anything, but I'm very toned, just very I would say average height, like average and just very very toned, very athletic.
So you might go something like a live body.
What's that? Okay, sure.
It's okay. We're playing Advanced Dungeon World, so you can put toned.
He's swole.
So you are a
Toad
brawny
shrimped.
man, or no? What is it? A wiry, right?
Yeah,
Not
essentially.
huge, but like defined muscles.
Super defined, yeah.
Okay.
For my personal sanity, can I have everyone save their display name as their character name in Roll20?
Yep. That's something you can do in your settings
Okay,
menu. You can
I
change
guess-
that so
I guess-
it'll show down there.
Guess I could do that.
All right. So it looks like everybody's got their stats figured out. So now we have to set maximum HP. So the way that you do that is it's your let's see, your HP is based on your class plus your con. So for
Is it
For the
plus con
fighter.
number or con stat?
con stat, the full thing. So like if you have a 16 con, it's plus 16.
Wait, it's what plus what?
It is your class will tell you what the bonus is plus your constitution score.
Oh, right.
The full score. So for instance, the fighter has a max of 10 plus constitution. So if I look over here, you have a constitution of 12, which means you have 22 hit points, Handor.
Okay.
So in hit points, you can just change that to 22.
Are we supposed to put one number in each box?
One of these boxes is for your max, and one is for your
Current.
current. So go ahead and just pick which one is which. I don't know.
15 out of 15.
Perfect. All right. Next thing we need to do is choose starting moves. So everyone has some moves that they need to pick from. So let me. All right. So while I got the fighter thing open here, it sounds like we sort of talked a little bit about your signature weapon. So let's go ahead and start with you, Handor. So you have some options to pick here on your signature weapon. So it sounds like you're going with fists. So you're going to choose. You have fist weapons. And then you're going to choose a range that best fits that. So probably hand, if they're. But if you want, if you're like, I don't know, if you're holding chains or something in your hands, it could be close or reach. You tell me.
Well, first of all, when I bring down the drop down, right? Am I just typing in what the signature weapon is there, or do I leave signature weapon alone?
Oh, okay. So here in the thing, there will be in the details. So just delete the things that it isn't.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So just delete everything but fists, and then probably it's probably hand is probably going to be your range, because you're hand-to-hand fighting.
Okay.
And then you need to choose 2 enhancements. So one of the options was precise, which lets you use dex instead of strength for your fist fighting. And then you have some other options here, like hooks and spikes, sharp, which adds +2 piercing. So maybe you have some like spiked knuckles that go through armor.
Okay.
It could glow in the presence of a type of creature of your choice.
Human.
Yeah, glows in the presence of humans.
Hands are always glowing.
Yeah, because you're human. Versatile, choose an additional range. So I don't know if that one's going to fit for fists.
You could throw fireballs.
You can.
Yeah. Maybe you could throw fireballs from your fists.
Yeah, this is going to be unique. This is going to be difficult.
So, all right. So definitely think about that. That's your only option that you have to choose. So
Well,
go through those, and we can jump around.
Okay, well, real quick. So I have the move name, which is signature weapon. That stays the same, right?
Yeah.
And then there's trigger. I leave that alone.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the details, you want me to figure out. It's obviously going to be fists, and then I need to figure out or hand or whatever. So fist, hand, and then
choose 2 of the enhancements, and then choose a look.
And one of those is going to be precise.
So
that
use
you can.
dex.
Okay. Oh gosh, this is so much.
Well, take your time.
Well, you take your time. We'll jump around a little bit here while you're thinking about that.
Sure.
So you know what? I think the bard's got some options that they have to choose.
Only one. It's just what's my bardic lore.
Okay, what'd you choose?
I've opted for Legends of Heroes Past.
Legends of Heroes Past. Tell me a little bit more about that. Why did you choose Legends of Heroes Past?
Well, see, as a very famous and extraordinary, even one might even say wonderful public speaker, I draw upon the experiences of the great heroes to encourage people to better themselves and do better in their day-to-day lives.
Well, you see, as a legend of hero present, you know what my predecessors did.
All right. So it's to better uplift the heroes of the future.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. So question, is everyone human? Did everyone pick human?
I'm elf.
You're an elf.
I am an elf.
Okay. So, are you all humans from the same culture?
I am an elf.
I feel like you're not listening.
I feel like you're not listening. I'm sorry.
For the three humans,
I felt like I needed to do that.
are you all from the same culture?
I would say definitely not, considering two of them are,
Normal, and the other one is a foppish brute.
I guess when you put it that way, excuse me, I made a life of that wasn't of wealth and.
All right, so it sounds like
I mean, I would say that I would be okay, like coming from the same town or area as Wonderful William to the uninitiative. We're close personal friends. I like to call him Badass Billy.
Oh, I love it.
Well, that's gonna make some of your bonds a little easier to get to when you get down to bonds. But okay, so it sounds like you guys are from the same culture, and then Forrest is from some other, maybe more pugilist culture. All right.
I
So
believe
who
the
else?
term was foppish brute.
Yes, a foppish brute.
Please, I do not.
I do not fop.
I have never once fopped. All right.
I don't
well,
even know the meaning of that word.
All right. Well, Adelaide, you've got some choices to make here as well.
Mm-hmm. So is there a way for me to add my spells to the character sheet?
There is a tab here for spells, I think. Hold on.
I have abilities, attributes, and abilities.
So you're gonna go to the sub section. So up in the top where the Dungeon World logo is, it'll say main, sub, and settings. So you're gonna click sub.
I don't know what you're talking
You're already there. So then under the word spells, click add.
about. How did I get there?
I did it.
You did
probably-
it. Oh, I see where you're clicking. Right here. Haha. Okay.
Yeah. So now under the word spells, click add.
Add.
And then in the blank title, you can drag from the thing over here. So if you search for the spell you want, you can just drag its name right into the open name field, and it'll populate the.
Where am I looking this up at?
So in the chat area over on the right, there's a little eye up in the top for a compendium.
Oh, in the compendium.
Yeah, and then you can search for the spell that you want and drag it in there, and then you'll have all that information there. So
How do I drag it?
just
Oh, I get it. Never mind.
drag it. Yeah,
That was weird.
that is weird.
That's why it freaked me out. I was like, this is not working the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
Cool.
So so you have, let's see, do you have choices to make here? You have to pick your spells.
I have to pick 3 spells, and I get all the cantrips plus detect magic because I'm an elf. So I get detect magic, light, unseen servant, and prestidigitation, and then I get 3 more first level spells,
Great.
which are contact spirits, magic missile, charm person, invisibility, telepathy, and alarm.
All right. Do you know what spells you're going to take?
I feel like as a magician assistant, I would definitely need invisibility,
Oh, yeah.
right? Like,
100%.
I mean, that just seems like a no-brainer.
Okay.
So definitely doing invisibility.
All right.
And I feel like I need to take magic missile so I have some way of defending myself, right?
Sure. Yeah, because in this game, damage is based on your class,
Right.
and the wizard does 1d4 damage. if they try to hit someone with something, because
Right.
they're not super dangerous.
So magic missile, if I've seen this correctly, does 2d4 damage,
That is correct.
which is a whole extra d4. So last but not least, I can either go charm person or contact spirits. I mean, there's also telepathy and alarm, but I don't know if I want those.
All right. Well, while you think about that, 3 Fort. What decisions do we have to make for you?
I am a master of the serpent tears poison.
Okay. Serpent tears poison. Anyone dealing damage to that target rolls twice and takes the better result. Okay. And it's a touch poison.
Yeah.
Why do you have that poison?
Because the thing says I get one.
Well, why choose that one? Do you typically fight with an ally that you
Oh yeah, I
find to
never.
boost the effectiveness of, or
Yeah, I never, go on a job by myself. Obviously, that's how mistakes happen. And as a ranged expert, I try to stay out of the scuffle myself. So there are other people who are more, better suited for that sort of thing.
Mhm.
No, I'm okay with the other poisons. Like if I were to get my hands on some of those ingredients, I could probably mix something up. But this is just the one that I like using the most. It's the one I have the most experience with.
all right. Okay. So I think that's all the decisions that everyone has to make. Have you picked all your spells?
I'm going to go with charm person as my third and final spell. So I'll have invisibility, magic missile, and charm person.
Okay.
Plus cantrips.
All right. So now you have to. Oh, okay. So next we have to choose your alignment. Now, alignment in this game is not. It's not. You're not limited by your alignment. You're encouraged to act under your alignment. So when you, at the end of session, if you did something that fit whatever the trigger was for your alignment, you get an XP. If you don't do the thing, or if you do the thing, but you want to change your alignment, you have to reject that XP, and then you can change your alignment to a different alignment. So, for instance, we'll start with 3 Fort here. Thing that says the alignments. All right. So you've got a couple options. You got chaotic, leap into danger without a plan.
Yeah, I'm chaotic.
Okay. So yeah, so anytime at the end of a session, if during that session you have leapt into danger without a plan, you will gain XP.
So that's the thing I have to do. Okay, well let me look, because I thought those were just like, this is an example of what you would do.
No, that's your check mark. So if
Yes.
it's kind of what you want to play, that's the alignment you should probably go for.
Yes, so you're gonna want to choose something that kind of matches the way you're gonna play the character, the way you want to play the character. And obviously, your characters may grow and change over time.
Mm-hmm.
And you may find after a couple of sessions that, oh well, I thought I was gonna leap into danger more often than I do. I'm really more reserved, and I tend to like shift blame onto others. I think I should be evil. And then your alignment's gonna shift based on what you get XP for.
We're getting a lot of echo from you.
Are you guys getting echo from me? All right. Let's see here. So yeah, so you're gonna choose one of those alignments, and then go ahead and add that to your sheet there.
Okay.
And that's gonna kind of describe the actions you want to take.
I mean, I feel like my standard MO is just kind of run forward anyways, so I'll stick with chaotic.
Okay. Did you choose anything, Nightson?
So I'm torn because chaotic is spur others to significant and unplanned decisive action, which definitely once again feels is the modus operandi for for ours.
Mhm.
But good is kind of more what I'm looking at here for perform your art to aid somebody else. I'm all about making the average person better.
I'm all about
Okay.
giving aids to people.
So you want to aid people? There's no S on that.
There is if you do it multiple times. That's how plurals work.
Several aids have happened. All right. All right. Cool. So you're gonna be good. You can add that to your sheet there. Let's check back in on Handor. How are you doing with your signature weapon?
Let's see. So I'm pretty sure you guys said precision, but I only saw versatile. I didn't see the precision thing.
Or precise, maybe is what it's called.
I
precise.
did. Well, I
It
didn't
adds
see it.
precise. It's called something else.
Here, let me see.
I didn't see it in the list when I brought it up.
Perfectly weighted.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you have perfectly weighted fist weapons.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that then. I'll put that in there.
Your fists are pretty well balanced, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was your second enhancement?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was the other one?
Sinister.
Sinister.
Well,
Let's see.
that was the look.
That's
I didn't know.
look, yeah.
So your fist looks sinister?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you could do something like versatile and then have close and hand reach.
Yeah.
A little bit more reach on your attacks.
Yeah, I mean, we could figure out what that means for you. Like maybe you have like a fist weapon that includes some sort of like chain or
A Dan level fireball, just one little hand that shoots a fireball like 2 feet.
yeah. Or maybe it's just like the whole fist thing is your whole body, right? Like maybe these fist weapons are just your body as your weapon, and your reach counts as like a roundhouse, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally. Yeah, for sure. Why wouldn't I be able to?
So yeah,
Like,
you could take versatile and give yourself reach on your kicks and things.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
Okay.
and
I
choose
feel
far
like if
as
you're
your
gonna-
reach.
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
not choose that would definitely be like a thrown weapon or something like that.
I feel like if you're gonna consider your whole body your weapon, then you definitely need to glow in the presence of a type of creature.
So, precise, perfectly weighted. What's that? What's the
The benefit is that you gain the precise tag, which lets you use dexterity instead of strength.
Okay, so that's okay. I'm gonna write that in there.
So,
And then
That's
precise.
so
and
one
then
of our
versus-
one of our viewers says maybe Handor's fists are like gauntlets, and they have reach with chains.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Oh, like the whole fist like flies off
Right?
and then like ratchets back in.
Rocket
Yeah.
fist.
Rocket
No.
fist.
That's seriously kind of awesome.
Yeah,
Like I'm down for that.
you won't do it though. I think you're afraid. You won't be able to RP that.
Yeah, I figured that was a good chat suggestion, so I should throw that in there.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
If you shoot rocket fist and you're holding a great sword, can you shoot a great sword rocket fist?
You need to put a little bit of English on it to get it spinning, and then it's just a blender.
Very nice.
So
yeah.
what do I put for the versatile so that I know what I can remember what that gives me?
So just write versatile and then write add and then the name of the tag.
Yeah. So if you're going for a different range, what's the range?
So
So
what other range are you going to add? And I think it's probably reach. Unless it's like really insane. And they may, I mean, this is your signature weapon, right? So if these are gauntlets that like are, shoot out of your fists and then fly back to themselves, it can be a magic weapon, right? It doesn't have to be something that works mechanically.
Yeah.
But just you tell me what you want that other range to be. Like, because the ranges aren't like super specific, right? They're just sort of fictional positioning thing. If you have reach, it means that someone who's a little bit away from you, you can probably hit them and they can't hit you back, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, as long as they're not within.
Yeah. If you're close, it means they're going to be able to get you with their sword. But if you're at reach, then they're not going to be able to hit you with swords, right? They're going to
reach is fine.
Cool. All right. So you have versatile reach with your chain loaded gauntlets.
And reach, I think, could be classified as anything up to 10 feet.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. I mean, we're not going to be on a map, so it's going to be more like, all right, I get within reach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, things might be like, oh, well, they close with you, right? They get in close with you, or
They close the
hand-to-hand
distance.
combat with you, and now you can't shoot the chain out.
But you can still fist him.
Yeah, you still fist them.
That was a wonderful suggestion, though. Thanks, Chet.
Yeah.
Now here's the question: Are they
Derp Clark?
All right. Now, are they gauntlets or are they your hands?
do my. Well,
I thought we just said no bionics at the beginning.
I was gonna say I can't do that because
do you have robot hands?
I don't.
I mean, are your hands like some sort of crazy artifact weapon? Like where your forearms down to your hand replaced with some sort of crazy stone gauntlet thing that flies off and punches people?
Why do I have detachable penis like running in my head while you guys are talking about this?
You're like you're a poor child growing up on the hard streets, and you got caught stealing, and they chopped your hands off, and then you're taken in by a dwarven alchemist who made you these really cool metal dwarven gauntlets and stuck them on your hand with rocket launchers on them.
I feel like Oreztes just wrote your backstory, man.
Well, I kind of feel like I can still keep the minimal armor, and the bracer itself will actually be the chain, where we'll continue with the mechanical as opposed to the magical. The bracer on my arm is actually chain, right? And when that extends, when I throw, that bracer actually unravels. Right?
Oh, cool.
I like it.
That's
kind of
awesome.
like in a clockwork type of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Now, does it have different attachments?
Oh yeah. Like can we
Well,
get a
it's got-
vacuum attachment and like a frying pan attachment?
What are we
Make
turning
sure-
into roll?
Child attachment.
Make you be the utility? No children.
Well, he doesn't have a teddy bear. So.
Oh, it's true. I did say no teddy bears.
Teddy
All
bear
right.
attachment. You could shoot it at children and then yank it back right before they get it.
All right. Well, now that we've got your weapon sort of figured out, what alignment were you thinking about going?
Oh yeah.
I don't have chaotic as an option. I just have good, neutral, and evil.
Yeah.
I think I'm neutral.
You're neutral. So when you defeat a worthy opponent,
Yeah.
you gain some XP. So is your character just sort of like wandering around looking for worthy opponents, or?
I wouldn't say that I go looking for it. I would say that it a lot of times comes to me because of the
Like
way I
you're-
look.
So you have this reputation or this air about you that just makes people want to punch your face?
I can
And
attest
then-
to that.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? So like I walk into town and people are like, who the fuck is this guy, right?
We're
Right,
gonna
so-
kick his ass, and you're like, yeah, right.
Right.
Walking around with his metal hands.
Yeah, when they see my fist launch off of then they go, shit, I made a mistake.
Just kidding. We're cool, bro.
But
Just kidding.
it's too late by that point, right? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So do we have everybody's alignment? I think
I am going with good.
Okay.
Use magic to directly aid another. I feel like that very much plays into the magician assistant
I feel
background.
like that
Definitely.
ties along with Gordon's bard thing really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys are just a bunch of walking helpers, and this one dude who wants to beat everybody up.
I'll just help him do that.
Yeah. You guys found this fighter guy, and you're just following him around like, be the hero.
Yeah.
He's a work in progress. He's kind of a pet project.
He's a pet project. Yeah.
Don't worry, buddy. I'll just poison this guy, and then your fist will do much more. All right. So I think we've done a pretty good job of introducing everybody's characters. But do you guys want to quickly go through and just give me the quick rundown? Your name, who you are, introduce yourself to the chat here, to the internet at large.
Nightson, why don't you go first since you're in the top corner?
Sure, I'm in the top corner. I'm going to take your word on it. I'm the wonderful William, public speaker extraordinaire. I make a living making people better. Teaching them that they don't have to just be them; they can be them and more.
You're a motivational speaker.
You're Socrates. You're Socrates.
You are the pilot of your ship.
I love it. All right.
Do you get paid to be a motivational speaker? I'm just curious.
People let them stay with him.
Yeah.
He gets food and bread and
hats.
Yeah.
And hats.
Hats.
All the fanciest have hats.
All the fanciest hats.
And adornments for his hats.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
depending on the fashions of the time.
I will go next. I am an elf. I'm Adeline Lare. I just really like helping people and making them stand out in a crowd. Really, the wonderful William has stepped into the role where the magician disappeared, and now I just really help him draw in crowds and show other people's potential. That's my shtick.
All right.
How do you guys already have a backstory for you two? Like, what the heck?
It just came to us, man.
You're just making it up as we go, man.
All right, Handor, why don't you go next since you're...
Yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about...
I will try. I am Forrest Jedrick. I keep to myself. I look like a taller version of like Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Except for less Asian, I think.
Sure.
And then, like I said, I really keep to myself. I'm kind of grew up, I guess, having to defend myself and having to fight, and so I'm a natural fighter, and I wear minimal clothing, obviously, so people kind of judge me whenever I go anywhere. I don't know, and I have awesome fists.
All right. Strong.
So a couple things, Matt, and you don't have to answer these now. These are things that you
Sure.
want to think about.
Yes.
The key questions of where'd you get your weapon? Like, that's a very unusual weapon, very unusual style of combat. Where did you get it from?
It's the only one in the world, as far as we know.
So that's question one. Who taught you to fight? Where did you get your skills? Then you mentioned you don't wear clothes because you're apparently one of those weird people.
Yeah.
And
Chat suggests that maybe you look Hawaiian, or maybe that Samoan look. So maybe you're from a tropical island. That's why you're used to not wearing clothes.
So that's another one of those. Why do you dress that way? Most people would go, well, I can deal with a little bit less freedom of movement and not get stabbed in the face.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. The whole point of me wearing minimal clothing is to not be burdened by, being a fighter. I do not want to be burdened by, I want agility. I want to be able to,
freedom of movement.
Yeah, freedom of movement. Really, it's
awesome.
free flowing.
Yeah, awesome.
That sounds great.
So how? I guess you guys will have to help me come up with those other questions. If you could, Nightson, put those actually in chat so that I can actually ponder those.
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
the
think
big thing about this game is it's not about answering those questions now.
no, those are questions we're going to answer through play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Oreztes, you want to...
yeah, why don't you give us a little introduction, and then I think we might take a quick break, and then we'll come back to doing bonds. And while we're on break, you guys can get some gear.
Name is Three Fort Ian Decillion. Kind of started palling around with William or Billy and Adelaide, just because they really like to draw in a crowd. Like William is just really good at once Adelaide diverts everybody's attention to William, he is just really good at just keeping them focused on him. And that allows me to basically just sneak around and pickpocket everybody when they're not looking. So yeah, I like to, kind of hang out back in the shadows. I've heard this spiel a dozen times. He makes me feel really good about myself and really confident in my ability to pickpocket all these guys. So, yeah, I just kind of sneak around and pick up things as I find them. Things just magically have a way of appearing in my pouches. I don't know how they get there.
Is that a legitimate you don't know, or is that your story?
It's a story, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, let's go with you know what? We'll figure that out.
Yeah. Well,
Right now, it's like, oh look, I don't know how I got this. I don't know where this.
man,
came
I
from.
just always have money. I don't.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, it's great. Like people, and we get into town. People invite William over. I tag along, and then
suddenly their silverware's gone.
they're like, I was gonna offer you a really nice cup of tea, but I cannot find my silver tea kettle. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm just like, well, I have one here. Do you want to use mine? It's really very nice.
And it's already engraved with your family's crest
Yeah.
and everything. It's very convenient.
Yeah, weird thing.
Ta-da!
Yeah, it's a magic trick she did. So there you go. And then in the unlikely event that I do get caught and things get physical, then I am also there to help my friends do better at keeping people away from me and not hurting me.
All
We're
right.
helpers.
Yeah,
we're helpers.
that sounds awesome. All right, I think we're gonna take 5, and these guys can get some gear, and then when we get back, we'll do bonds, and we'll start talking about the world a little bit and find out where these crazy adventurers are and what they're doing there. So
Cool.
All right.
Thank you so much, chat, for helping the noob.
Yes,
All
thank
right.
you, chat.
Quick 5-minute break.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. I think you got to watch us take our break. But, I went and got some water, so I'm feeling a little bit more refreshed. Everybody ready to talk about bonds and get some gear?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right. So while we're doing bonds, everybody else who's not currently reading their bonds, go ahead and start working on your gear, and then you just tell me at the end like what you ended up with. But who wants to do their bonds first? Who wants to talk first?
I'll go first.
All right.
Or do we want to do like a round robin kind of thing?
Yeah, we can do like one at a time and kind of bounce around.
So, this is not my first adventure with and someone didn't put their name, so I don't remember their name.
Who? Three Fort?
Yeah, Three Fort.
Forest or Adelaide?
Well, Adelaide put their name, so this is
Put
Oh, in the settings in Roll20.
yeah.
If you go to the gear at the top right, you can change your name.
Oh, I changed it in the chat channel.
Yes, this is not my first adventure with Three Fort.
Okay.
We've been working together on and off for a while.
All right. How? So see that there. Okay.
You know, unfortunately, the world of public speaking does not pay that well, so occasionally I need to supplement my income.
Yeah, it's good. There's never a bad reason to have a thief around. All right. So, so you and Three Fort have known each other for a while. Three Fort, why don't you go next? What you want to pick one of your bonds there?
Sure. So let me see. I will go with the. I'll just go from the top down. So my first one is I stole something from, and I'll say that I stole something from everybody at some point, but so far the only one who's caught me has been Forrest.
Oh, okay. So the guy who whoops everybody's ass knows that you stole something from him?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I don't know how I got it. He thinks I stole it. It just wound up in my pouch. You could have it back.
Right.
And then the next day, it's like, how did this get in my pouch again?
Why does your gear keep jumping into my bags?
You're strong. You can carry your own stuff.
Okay. Well, Forrest, do you wanna go next and pick one of your bonds?
Well, yeah, I feel like I honestly don't even know how to.
So let me talk about bonds a little bit, and maybe this will give you some information about what these are for and sort of how they're going to be. So bonds, one, the main goal is to instantly connect the characters and give them something to RP about, right? Like you know how to react to each other because you've established these connections between the characters.
Mhm.
The other thing that it's going to do is at the end of the session, if you've resolved one of your bonds, then it goes away, you make a new bond, and you mark XP. So if by him saying I stole something from him, he wants that to come up in the session. He wants you to address that with him, or he wants him.
Yeah.
He wants that to be a core part of the RP between you two, because if you guys talk about that stuff and resolve it in some way, then he gets XP, right?
Okay.
So when you're picking your bonds, think about things you actually want to be in the game.
It's just difficult to use this type of imagination. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you've never done it before.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I hear you. I mean,
So
you
here's
can
the
also
thing.
just read one out and have people offer up like, oh, maybe I did that.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, well, obviously, Three Fort stole from me,
Yeah.
and I feel like having run in with Three Fort, I've also run in with the wonderful William.
Yeah.
And I really don't care for either one of these guys. They annoy me.
They're very fancy.
They're fancy. They talk a lot.
They wear a lot of clothes.
And they wear way too many clothes. And
I mean, William just has that amazing hat. That's just, fuck that hat.
And I want to punch it off of his head.
I feel like you're going in the right direction here.
Yeah, that's.
So does one of those questions kind of fit into that?
Yeah.
Dynamic.
Pick one of those statements or questions there. Just go ahead and read it out, and we'll fill in the blank.
Wait, what? What now?
Oh, are you looking at your bonds? Okay, so on your sheet, or on your class, there should be a list of bonds.
Yeah, I see it.
So for instance,
Okay. So here's the thing. So 3/4, I would say, owes me his life, whether he admits it or not, and not because like I saved him, but because I spared him from murder.
you didn't kill him yet,
Yeah,
and so he owes you his life.
yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
so write down 3/4 owes me their life, whether they admit it or not. And then we're gonna address that. That's gonna have to come up in games and get some XP on that.
I mean, I feel like asking how you felt about being stolen from has become very clear now that you feel like he owes you his life.
Yeah.
So I feel
Your
like
life
that
is in the palm of my hand.
because I'm going to
You're
push
lucky
you.
I have not squeezed yet.
Yeah.
Okay, Adelaide, do you want to do one of your bonds?
Yeah. So let's see. So Forrest will play an important role in the events to come. I have for.
Oh, okay. So you get visions then, yeah? How did you foresee it?
I'm thinking in a dream. I don't think it was a conscious. I don't think I was looking for a vision. I think it just came to me.
So you had a dream about Forrest.
I did. I had a dream about Forrest.
Was that before or after you met Forrest?
I'm gonna go before. I had a dream about Forrest, just some random guy, right? And then one day I met Forrest and was like, well, shit.
Holy shit, that's the guy.
That's the guy from my dream. I guess I need to be friends with him in some way.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
That's very.
I mean,
very,
that would explain why all these very fancy people suddenly approached you.
Yeah.
right, for sure. Yeah.
This is going to be really important. Trust me.
All right, cool. So let's loop back around. Nightson, what else you got?
Yeah, this is kind of goes without saying, but Mr. Jedrick is often the butt of my jokes.
Oh, good. That's gonna go well.
Yeah, real well.
And if you guys see me looking down, I'm not bored. I'm taking notes. I don't know if that's.
Someone just asked if it was the nude character that I dreamed about. that you dreamed about.
Yeah,
It was.
You dreamt about a naked man.
I dreamt about it,
and you were like,
and I was like, he's going to be important in the
this person is definitely going to be important.
Definitely going to be important.
All right. Well, Oreztes, you want to drop us another bond of yours?
All right. Okay, so real quick on our bonds, it's showing like I have 4 on mine.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have duplicates or are we want to do
I would
3?
recommend that you have one with each person.
Yeah.
And if you want more, that's fine, but probably one with each character is going to be good because you're going to want to try to hit some of those so you can get that XP.
Yeah. Then I'm going to say that Adelaide knows incriminating details about me.
Ooh.
Well, she is a prophet.
Yeah. I mean, she's probably had a dream about
It's like a
me.
minor one.
Mhm.
It's incriminating information about you.
Yeah. Maybe she understands the strange magic that makes stuff pop into your bags all the time.
Maybe.
We'll have to find out during play. Okay. All right. Make sure you guys are adding these to your sheet. I don't know if you're putting those in the roll 20. Handor, you wanna take another one?
I can try.
You're doing great.
You're doing real well. Why don't
So, what?
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, if you want, you can just pick one that sounds interesting to you, that you will a question or thing that you would want to explore, and then open it to the group, and then they can offer up suggestions on who might best fit that. If you don't have an idea.
Well, the thing is like there's the I have sworn to protect.
Oh, okay.
But obviously that's neither 3 foot or Wonderful William.
3
You know
foot.
3 foot or whatever. I mean,
I love the idea that you just call you 3 foot. Do we just find out your character is very short?
No, I heard the ladies at the brothel call me that on my way out.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So I feel like if that's something that my character's kind of beholden to, then the only person left really to protect would be Adelaide.
I think that's a great choice.
Yeah. I mean,
Personally, I love being protected.
why did you decide that, or why did you swear to protect her?
Well, because she's the only one that she's the only one that doesn't like annoy me. She doesn't ask me a lot of questions. She doesn't belittle me.
Those words.
She's the only person who's ever been nice to you. So, like, I gotta keep her alive.
Well, well, yeah. I guess if you want to be really mean about it, but the thing is, 3 4 and Wonderful William. His name is Wonderful William. That already is like is a trigger for my character.
Triggered X card.
So, these guys. And here's the thing: 3 4 stole from me. William talks way too much. It
just makes sense.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
with
permanent.
Process of elimination. If I'm gonna protect somebody, it's gonna be the one I don't care. I don't hate.
You hate me the least, and that's okay.
Well, yeah, and I actually kind of appreciate you because you are quiet and you're.
Well, and I think because I had that dream about you when we first met, I would have been really friendly toward you and welcoming. Where maybe you're not, because of your stature and you look kind of scary. People kind of are standoffish or push you out of social situations. And I was like, hey, come hang out with us. Like, I was really welcoming to you. And so that kind of made you feel like, hey, all right, well, she's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because like I said in the beginning, my character goes into town and obviously people are giving me weird looks.
I think the chat is already shipping you.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm having naked dreams about you. You're being really nice to me. It's
okay. Well, I think we got that established. Adelaide, you want to give us one more bomb?
Sorry, I was reading the chat. Dope Clark suggested that the thing I saw about 3 4 was that I saw you watching porn, which I think is hilarious.
They don't have TVs here.
They don't have that here. Okay. So I feel like 3 4 is woefully misinformed about the world, and I need to teach them about what's right. I need to help change his ways. I need to help you become a better person.
A better thief?
A better person.
But I'm a thief. You could help me be a better thief. That's fine.
Better person.
I don't understand.
You shouldn't steal from your friends, 3-4.
I don't steal from anybody. The things just appear in my pouch, and I don't know how they get there. I give them back most of the time if I can find the rightful owner. Most people don't like, label their things. So how am I supposed to return them?
Is that the problem? Do we need to go around labeling like everyone's stuff with their name so that you like it's not possibly yours to take?
I mean, I feel like you guys should definitely label your own things.
Well, that's good for us to know going forward. I think it's your turn, 3-4. No? Yes?
Well, we come back around.
Oh, have we?
So, anybody have one more to go?
Sure. Let me hunt down my stupid last thing again, because roll 28 it.
Yeah.
All right, so
Yeah, definitely Den Mother Wizard. That definitely fits me.
Adelaide trusted me with a secret.
Ooh. Hmm.
Well, think about that secret and maybe message it to both of us, Adelaide.
Yeah, let me write that down so I remember to come up with that.
Yeah. And then we can put that in chat or something and just tell the others not to look at it. All right. Well, we've got a secret on the way. 3-4. What's your last bond?
I will say that Wonderful William or Badass Billy and I, we have a con running.
Okay. What's the con?
I don't know. I'll come up with that.
Okay. And is William like happy about it, or is he like reluctantly going along with this con?
I mean, it's very profitable, so that's really up to him. I'm happy about it. I'm okay with it. The end game is going to be very good. I think we're going to get a lot of money once we steal this dude's fists and melt them down.
I feel like that's ill-advised.
I have it. The fact that my self-help has no permanent effect whatsoever.
Oh, it's temporary?
It's all smoke and mirrors?
Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors. I'm infusing magical ability into them to make them think that they are better than they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second I leave town, they go back to being bumbling peasants.
Okay, so it's the public speaking plus pickpocketing con is the con you guys have going.
Yeah, I
Cool.
cannot stand these guys.
Okay. All right.
Well, I think this kind of ties into my last bond here, so I'm going to jump in. The wonderful William is keeping an important secret from me, and it may be the con. It may be. I mean that's up to you, but I'm feeling like it might be the con.
Okay. Handor, what's your last Forrest, what's your last con, or what's your last bond?
Well, let me see. I would have to say that 3-4 is soft, but I'll make them hard like me.
Okay.
Oh dear God.
Hey, you know what? That's on the sheet. So that's
No, I honestly I don't know.
Yeah,
you can
3
you can
foot.
3/4 hard like you.
3 foot hard.
I honestly I don't know.
Here we have our moderator thinking if he has to moderate the actual actors in this.
All right, let's see here. All right, let me see if I can help you come up with one. Unless we're sticking with that. If you sound like you weren't super happy about that.
Do you have more than 3 things on your sheet?
I do. I
Yeah.
worry about the ability of blank to survive in dungeon. But I feel like I don't like either one of those.
Well, why don't you come up with something else? Like you can just make something up. What's
I know,
something
but
your character thinks about 3/4 that you would want to explore in the game?
Well, he already has one for me.
Or do you already have one for him?
Yeah, remember I'm saving his life by not killing him.
No, that was for William, wasn't it?
No, that
No.
was for 3/4. Because
Yeah.
3/4
3/4.
stole from him, and
Oh.
now he's not killing him out of the goodness of his heart.
Okay. So then you need to pick one for William. I mean, that definitely fits for William. The
I'm not gonna make William hard like me.
the ability for them to survive in the dungeon.
I feel like I want something better than that though. Like let me see. How can I tie in with William?
Okay, well, why don't you
Yeah, go ahead.
go ahead and think about that, and I want to ask William about his instrument. Which instrument did you choose?
Well, instead of an instrument, as I don't really like the whole music thing.
Right.
I have a notebook of my popular speeches and talks that I found that are most effective.
Okay. So something along the lines of a songbook, but it's a book of stories
Yeah,
of forgotten heroes and
yeah.
Okay. How did you come across this book?
Oh, it's been compiled. It's a long life of research and building and.
All right, an archive of heroes.
Yeah.
What does it look like? Is it a big book? Like,
It looks like a thick book with lots of loose paper in it.
a thick book with lots of loose papers.
Yeah.
What's it bound in?
Book.
Human skin.
Yeah, is there anything unique about it, or is it just like bound in leather, wrapped in straps?
It looks like just a loose leaf binder almost of just random
Okay.
things.
You know, if you look in the Roll20 in the equipment, they have a item called an infinite book. It's a magic item. I don't know how like what you want to set our limits on as far as starting gear. but
Well,
that
the
might
starting
be-
gear is predefined in your class book, but an infinite archive book or an infinite book could definitely be something that you were searching for. Trying to upgrade him from his loose leaf book. Okay, so let's see. So you have an archive book. Did everybody else pick all of their equipment?
Yeah, I'm done.
You got your equipment?
Yes, I also have mine.
Okay. Oreztes, do you have all your equipment?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was in the book, so I was just grabbing cool stuff.
Oh yeah, don't do that. It specifically says what you can get.
Well, most of what I got's in the actually in here because I was just like, I want some throwing knives and some arrows and a bow.
Okay,
So
sweet.
yeah, that's mostly what I got.
All right, cool. Handor, how are we doing on that last bond?
Well, I just realized people are doing equipment, and I've only been thinking of bonds, and
That's
so I
okay.
don't have any equipment. Okay.
That's okay. We can go through your equipment when we're done.
Okay, so the excuse me, sorry. The last one I would have to say for my bond would be to tie in with William is that his allure with drawing the crowds and all I just don't understand it, right? It makes no sense to me.
There's no punching involved at all. Like
Right.
how
well, and like you said, like the magic of you drawing in people, right? It for some reason it does not affect me. Like maybe people need a certain type of emotional something or other for it to affect them, right?
you heard it here. He doesn't want heels.
What's that?
Nothing.
He said you don't want heels.
Oh, yeah. Well, so his thing, my thing is with him is I just don't. He confuses me and his speeches and I just don't understand him and like what he's doing and how he's affecting these people.
Okay. So, do you seek to understand how he affects these people, or are you? Is your bond just that he's an enigma to you?
Yeah, an enigma, I would say, and I don't like him.
And I don't like him.
I don't get it, and therefore I hate it.
You're shifty, and I don't like it. Okay. Cool. So keep in mind that you're going to want to try to resolve that bond in some way. So maybe at some point when you understand how his magic works, when you start to trust him over the course of time, or maybe you realize you're never going to trust him, and you end up crossing it out anyways because you're like, he's a lost cause. But those are the kind of things you're going to want to.
I like the idea through gameplay that you learn to understand like what it is that makes him so charismatic.
Yeah.
That's a good. I think that's a good bond.
Tip: it might be my 16 charisma.
It could be that. It could
Just
be the
the tip,
16
though.
charisma. Okay, cool. So, Handor, let's do your equipment then. We'll do it
Sure.
live. Let me get
F it, we'll do it live.
Yeah. All right. So the fighter gets you carry your signature weapon, which you have, which takes up 2 weight.
So I just go in there, add.
Super
So
quick
you're
ad.
gonna
Yeah.
say that your signature weapon counts as 2 weight. You have dungeon rations, which is 5 uses, and counts as 1 weight.
That's food.
Yep. You get to choose your defenses. So we either have chainmail or scale armor. I'm okay with describing this chainmail or scale armor as bracers and shoulder and everything like that. But you're just gonna pick. Do you want the big heavy 2 armor? Like, do you have these giant polderons, and like, or do you have chainmail sort of strapped to you?
Do you have a chainmail loincloth?
Because it determines your armor rating.
Well, it says chainmail, but it doesn't say like it
It could be
doesn't have-
chainmail pants.
No, yeah, it doesn't have to be. It's not going to cover your chest. It's just.
No, I'm just saying, like, I want to do like the one shoulder thing, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's totally fine with me. You just pick between chainmail and scale armor. What's on your shoulder? You also get adventuring gear if you pick chainmail.
Okay, we'll do the chainmail then.
Okay. And that makes sense because it's not. The other one's supposed to be like big and heavy and clumsy, whereas chainmail is supposed to be a little lighter. So that kind of fits with your deal a little bit more. And then you also get to choose 2 of these things. So you can have 2 healing potions. That's one thing. You can pick a shield, an antitoxin, an antitoxin, dungeon rations, and poultices and herbs, or 22 coins. So, of those 4 things, which would you like?
22 coins.
Okay, so you get 22 coins, and then what's the other one you want? Do you want the 2 healing potions, the shield, or the antitoxin, more rations, poultices, and herbs?
I'll say the more rations and.
Okay, so yeah, so you're gonna have 22 coins. You're gonna have antitoxin, 5 more uses of dungeon rations, which counts as 1 weight, and poultices and herbs, which gives you 2 uses they're slow and they have one. They take up 1 weight.
Okay. I can't type all that fast enough, but I'll try.
Here, I'll put it in chat.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, perfect.
All right. So everybody's got equipment. We did all the things.
I
Guys,
believe so.
let's talk about this world that we're in.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you people typically stay where people are, right?
I promise I won't sing it.
You want to be where the people are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you've got a lot of entertainers, a thief,
Gladiator. Like
a gladiator of some kind. What are your stomping grounds? 3-Fort. Where is it you like to do your thieving?
Marketplaces and generally like pubs, inns. Find the most drunk, intoxicated looking person, easy target, and then at crowded markets there's a lot of bumping and bustling going on, so it's easy to lift some coin there.
Okay. So you're moving towards cities that have a lot of marketplaces, things, staying out of the smaller villages, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly. But I mean, even the smallest villages have pubs.
Okay. So what is oh, we lost Matt. Okay, you're back.
Sorry.
Did that move us around, or are we still good?
That's the producer's problem.
All right, we'll figure it out. All right. So what about this town that you guys are traveling to? Like, what have you heard that's here that you want to steal?
Um, well, I've been looking. I hear tell of this bag that can just hold a lot of stuff.
I mean, that would
And
be good when stuff just magically appears in it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, man, I've got little pouches and little stuff bits, but I hear that there's this place that has this bag that can just hold big things. So I'm curious to see if big things will magically appear inside a bigger bag, and I want to get one and
well, that is how
test
bags
it.
work.
Yeah, I need to get one for testing for science.
For science.
For science.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were looking for a bag that can hold many things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Okay, and
but not so big as to make it unwieldy and hard to carry.
So Adelaide, when he's describing this, do you know what he's talking about? Like, have you heard of such things?
I've never heard of bags like that. I mean, when I was working for the magician, we had this box that could hold anything, and I would get inside it, and there was like a lot of extra space in there, and then he would be like, "Tiffany, she's gone," because I would like move to the side, but it was like a box. But I haven't heard any bags. But I know that like that kind of magic does exist in the world because we had a box.
You had a box that does that.
We had a box
but
that did that.
A box is like big. It's big and it's hard to maneuver and carry around with us.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what it is that the magic exists to make that kind of item. I just don't know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you if we saw one that it's the same kind. Because I've seen it before.
That works.
So, sorry, I'm not looking at Roll20. So, Big Willie, what?
Big Willie style, and literally Big Willie style.
Do you know of anyone who would be able to tell you where you could find some item like this in this town?
Well, there was a story from long ago about a man named Jed the Mover, and he was known for transporting goods from one place to another in a small pouch. Lord knows how he did it. But the legend says he's settled in this town.
Okay. So Jed the Mover settled here, and he was told to have such a bag.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, he was capable of amazing feats of moving things around.
Gotcha. What is Jed still around, or was this like a long time ago?
They're not quite clear.
Okay. So not sure if Jed still exists.
They forgot to date that page in the book.
So Forrest, as they're trying to explain to you the reason that you're traveling to this town.
Yeah.
Much like trying to explain a cell phone to a caveman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the item you picture in your head. Like, what do you see when they try to explain this bag that can hold hundreds of items and can move anything, this small object that can move big things around?
What do I literally see, or what do I think?
What does Forrest see in his
Like, what do I literally imagine that they're
Yeah, what are
speaking
you
of?
imagining this thing looks like?
To me, I imagine it looks like a massive bag that's just a waste of time.
So it's like a huge sack. Like
Just a huge, massive bag.
like a billowing, voluminous sack
Yeah,
that
the
is
only-
unwieldy and
The only thing that can hold as much items as they say.
There's no magic involved. It's just a big sack.
It's just
Yeah,
a parachute size sack.
all right.
I love it.
Doesn't
So-
understand what magic is.
Hot
Yeah.
air balloon.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Magic to me is, I think, pretty foreign.
And so every time they try to explain it further, the sack just gets bigger, right? Like
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Yeah,
you're like, so it could hold some potatoes, or like
like
it
a
could hold a
couch.
man. You could put a man in it.
But
They
where
got
will we
bigger.
find people to drag this sack around with?
You're
Yeah.
like, God, it's going to be exhausting to drag that sack once it finds it.
Yeah, I feel like I'm being used. Like we're looking for a bag. I'm gonna have to carry it. I'm gonna have to carry these guys.
Nice.
So as you're picturing that in your head, and you guys are approaching this town, you spot something that could be this bag. It's floating above the city. It's all patchwork, and it appears to be towards the middle of this town. And from what you guys can tell, it's market day because there's loads of produce and things being carted in by farmers and peasants and things, taking stuff into this village, which doesn't seem to have gates. But from your vantage point, you can't really see the market, but you see the evidence that it is market day. What do you guys do?
So
Well,
I mean,
I
it's
go and
lots of-
find the hat shop.
you need another hat.
No, I need a different hat.
Well, I
I
was
will no
wondering.
longer need this hat once I've got the new one.
I mean, it's market day, so there's lots of people. So I mean, you could do a speech if you wanted to.
Yeah,
There's
but why
probably-
would they listen to me if I don't have a nice hat?
There's probably a lot of hats in the market, people selling them. Or if somebody has a nice hat, I mean, I could just go get it for you.
Are you talking about stealing things 3-4? Because that's not okay.
What? No,
We're not
I
supposed
never
to steal
said-
things. Remember, we've talked about this.
I never said I was going to steal anything. I was simply going to offer trade.
Okay. Well, I guess we could go find a hat shop.
So, as you guys are walking towards the town, there are several farmers and people moving their produce into the town. Let me see. Forrest, what is different about the way these houses are built from where you're from?
I would say they're certainly more
They have
fortified.
roofs.
They're more fortified.
Yeah, definitely more fortified. Like they were
Okay, so
better put together.
They're not
Sure.
caves.
so the buildings are a little more fortified than you're used to, which begs the question: is there a reason? Are there monsters here? Things try to get into the homes. You might want to be on your guard as you approach these buildings. How are you gonna try to find a hat shop?
Oh, just look around for the fanciest hats.
Okay, sounds like you're trying to discern realities.
Sure, why not? Click.
Okay. So you're looking around for the fanciest hats, and you see one gentleman with a very fine hat. It's a little narrower than you're used to, sort of covered in like a reddish material, and it has a bit of a tassel coming off to one side. But it's definitely the finest hat you've seen in this region. And he's marching down the street. What do you do?
Well, I strike up a conversation. Sir, where did you get that fine hat?
Oh, this hat.
Yes.
Well, this was from the gentleman clothier's fantastic hats. Just down the way there. And he
Perfect.
holds out one outstretched arm.
And before he
Wait,
finishes
sir,
talking,
sir.
I started walking
I-
off.
I need to, and he's trying to. So he's like trying to keep pace with you, and he's like, wait, are you new here?
Yes, hence why I'm looking for a hat.
Well, perhaps I could show you the way. I'm a bit of a salesman myself, and things are a little. But your friends, they don't look like they're from around here, and perhaps I could help you out. Make sure you don't get fleeced or anything.
We wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Just
Hats
follow
made out
me.
of fleece are terrible, by the way.
Of course. Felt is the only way.
Very itchy.
Very itchy.
Well, follow me and to the best hat you've ever had. So he sort of like takes off ahead of you and starts leading you through the streets. You can kind of tell that you are heading towards the market, and well, because he wants to identify your items. So you're heading. Do you guys follow this guy through the market?
Sure, why not? Well, he knows where the hat shop is, so I'll at least go with that.
I'm obviously like painstakingly annoyed with this whole thing.
I'm gonna keep an eye out as we follow him to make sure he's not leading us to a trap or an ambush, because these are very narrow alleyways here that he's
That is
leading us
true.
through. And if I was going to be setting up an ambush, I would use a similar layout.
True.
I'm sorry. Also, you said I might want to be on the defense, but at the same time, I'm kind of lost in the architecture here, to be honest.
So
Like I'm just annoyed with these guys, right? Like this is a waste of time, and I'm just like I'm kind of just like staring at these buildings.
Sure. So you're walking through the streets, you're looking for buildings. It seems like everything is a little more sturdy, like the doors are the buildings are mostly made of stone, like a light beige stone with wooden or like metal bracing all around it. The doors are very sturdy. They have you can tell that there's not a lot of cracks in the doors as you walk through the streets from looking around. And they sort of pitch pretty high, but as you get to the top, they come to sharp peaks. So it starts to feel a little claustrophobic if you're used to the the wide open air. And with the market day going on and all the around, it can be a little overwhelming. How are you handling that?
Yeah, it's almost like too much stimulus, honestly. It's the annoyance of wasting our time buying a hat and having to follow these, two bumbling fools, and I guess for me, the buildings are definitely like really upper scale, right? I see that. I understand that. That's something that's totally out of my realm.
Walls.
Yeah.
What's that?
So as you're getting closer and closer to these, the streets are getting narrower, but they're also more cluttered, and so people are like bumping into you. And they're
That's
kind of rude about it. So
that's
like you're moving through
anxiety.
the streets, and you guys are trying to follow this guy with his. I mean, he's pretty easy to keep track of because he's got that bright red fez. And so you're following through the things, but you are bumping into people at trying to keep pace with him. As he gets into the more like merchant district, you start to see shop signs hanging. He takes like a sharp left off into an alley. What do you guys do?
Don't follow him. He's leading us into a trap. Look at that alleyway. He just broke line of sight so he could duck around the corner. He's got some friends back there just waiting to ambush us and take all of our stuff.
Yeah, but he has a hat.
He does have a very fine hat. Could I have noticed that Forrest is getting like frustrated? Like, are you like puffing yourself up? Are you like huffing a lot? Like, are you giving away the?
Oh, I am absolutely like super annoyed and like anxious.
Okay. Can I look around at the shop signs and see if one kind of looks like a tavern or a bar of some kind?
Sure. Yeah. You easily find down ways into the main area of the market. It looks like it might actually open up into a wider sort of town square up ahead.
Okay.
If you were to go a few more blocks, and you can see faintly off in the distance a sign with a big mug on it.
Okay. So I'll lean into you, Forrest, and just say, if we can get through buying this stupid hat, I'll buy you an ale.
That sounds amazing.
And you guys have kind of stopped to discuss whether or not this is a trap and where the bar is, and this like you see this head sort of whips out from the alley, and the gentleman looks and goes, "What? You stopped following? Come on, just this way. It's just down this alley. The best hatters are always in alleys. Come."
That does sound legit.
I'll not fall for your trap, hooligan. And I throw a throwing knife at his fez.
That sounds like a volley. Go ahead.
I want to do called shot head on that.
Go for it.
But with the blunt end of my throwing knife.
You just kind of want to like boink.
Okay, so you're gonna try to just knock his hat off.
Yep.
Okay, go ahead and.
I did it. Called shot head. I rolled it. Boom.
You got a 10.
Oh well, you got a 10. So you do exactly. So yeah, you quickly whip out your knife, and it zips forward. The blunt end tips the top of his fez, knocking it off. And it like clatters to the ground. Someone almost steps on it, and he goes, my hat, no! And he like reaches up to his head, and there's this like small animal sort of like curled up on his head, and it looks very upset. It like gets up and like rears its teeth. He's like, no, don't worry, and he like tries to go for it. What do you guys do?
I'm very confused right
Dive
now.
for the hat.
You dive for the hat.
I
Okay.
want to basically is when Gordon goes to dive for the hat, I want to grab a hold of him.
Okay, so you want to interfere with him.
I want to interfere with him and be like,
Okay, so tell you what. Why don't you, William? You defy danger, with the danger being that the hat will be trampled. So you can do this with Dex probably, and you go ahead, Forrest, and roll to interfere. And you're gonna add. Oh no! And you're gonna roll plus bond, so you're gonna roll 2d6 plus 1 because you have 1 bond with each person.
okay, how do I do this roll?
So you're gonna roll. You're gonna click aid or interfere,
Oh, okay.
and then it'll probably should ask you what the bonus is. And it's gonna be plus 1. All right. So you interfere, giving him a -2, dropping his defy danger down to a 1. So he makes like he's about to dive for this hat, and you just your speedy gauntlets just latch onto him like a vice, and he snaps back, clattering back into you, and a cart just runs right over this hat, crushing it and grinding it into the mud. And the guy's like, "Why? Why would you do that? What? I've never." And Francis gets them, and the little the leaps forward, and it sprouts out little wings and flies at you. Sorry, 3-4. This thing is coming right at your face. What are you gonna do?
What? I'm very confused right now. I would like to just try to get out of the way.
You just want to duck out of the way of this?
Yeah, I want to dive behind
winged creature.
I want to try to dive behind Forrest.
Okay, behind Forrest. All right. Go ahead and defy danger, with the danger being that this thing is gonna claw at your face if it gets to you.
Great.
And I'm gonna use Dex. Okay.
Okay. So so you stumble, hesitate, or flinch. So you can get out of the way, but you're gonna have to grab something off of Forrest and use it as cover. So Forrest is gonna lose an item, or you can go ahead and let this thing get to you.
Oh no, I'll take something.
Okay, so you just snag something off of.
Yep.
Forrest, go ahead and mark off a ration.
I just reach over and grab your belt and try to pull you in front of me, and then the ration just comes off in my hand. It's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah. So this thing comes flying at you. It slams into the ration, and you see shreds start falling off of it. Whatever it is, it seems to have sharp claws on its feet. And it springs away from the ration and flies away like it's gonna come back for another round.
Stop it! Save me, Forrest, get it.
Yeah, this is unbelievable, and I'm getting very annoyed. I'm going to attempt to. How far away is it? It's flying. It's coming back around to me.
Yeah, it ducked away and it's coming back. So it's coming towards you and 3-4.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to punch this thing through its face.
Okay, so you just want to hit it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it as it comes in, are you trying to hurt it, or are you trying to defend 3?
I'm so annoyed right now that I want its face to be smashed through its butthole.
Sure. Okay, so why don't you roll hack and slash as you attempt to smash this thing's face? Okay, 10+.
Nice.
So you deal your damage, but if you'd like, you can deal a bonus d6 damage and take some damage yourself. Do you want to do a little extra damage, or do you want to just roll your base damage?
I feel like I'm pretty aggravated. So if I do the full, that means Like,
Basically, you don't care about your own well-being. You are more
yeah, because
interested
I'm
in
just I
you're
want
okay
to
with
destroy
getting a
this
little
thing so
scratched up, you
badly.
want to destroy it.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
do that.
So you're gonna do a D10 plus a D6 damage to this thing. So go ahead and roll that.
And that's just a roll, slash roll D6, right?
Slash roll space 1d10 plus 1d6.
Ooh.
You can also click damage to get your 1d10.
Oh, can you? Okay.
Yeah, and then you could probably just change your number to d6 and click damage again to get the rolls.
Oh, yeah, that will work. So there's that. Then this.
Okay, so
Cool.
so you do 10 damage to this. As it gets really close, you can kind of tell that it's a mixture of several creatures. Its wings are a little leathery, kind of like bat wings, but its claws and its plumage on its chest look a little bit more like a small bird of prey. And then it has this like angry little face like a ferret. And you just punch the little ferret face and it like gets crushed into its little bird body, and it like tries to latch onto you with the claws and digs in a little bit. You take 1d6 damage as it scrapes on you. So go ahead and roll a d6.
Okay.
Okay, so you take 6 damage as the claws rake down your arm before its before its body understands that it doesn't have a head. And then it just falls to the ground. And the gentleman looks at you and says, Francis, no, you'll pay for that. And he sort of waves his fist and runs off down the alley. What are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, there's a hat shop. We should probably go.
Yeah.
Forrest!
The alley was towards the hat shop.
I say we can
I'm gonna mourn the hat for a little bit.
at least the alley is open and it's not crowded anymore.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that there's still an ambush in there waiting for us.
Oh, and Matt, you subtract your armor from damage. So you have some. So the bracers give you that 1 armor from the chainmail. So
what is it, 17?
what? So yeah, so you just take 5 damage instead of 6.
So I'm gonna pull out a cloth and go over to Forrest's fist where he punched and start like cleaning the smush blood off of his. Why we're Forrest, you're not
None of
supposed
that came
to just
across.
smash things that are smaller than you.
Smarter. She said smarter.
Well,
She said smarter than him.
I honestly don't even know what to say because I'm.
He did his job. It's fine. That's good. Good job. Thank you for what
No,
you
it
did
wasn't for
there.
you. It wasn't for you, man. It was for me.
Sure it was. No,
That was for my own. That was for my own sanity.
You got guts all in the cracks in your gauntlets, and I mean, this is just gross. I mean, you're not supposed to just squish poor little helpless creatures. You need to be better than this, Forrest.
He attacked me first.
But
That
he
is
was
true.
smaller than you. You shouldn't attack things that
Well, smaller things shouldn't attack things that are bigger than them.
That is true. That is very true. That is a good lesson for life. That small things should not attack things that are big. But you shouldn't smash things that are small. I expect better from you.
I think that's actually a great place to go ahead and call it for today. And we'll pick up next time with finding out what the hell the gentleman is going to do what consequences will come from those actions, and maybe will William ever find a fancy hat? So, guys, do you have any questions or comments as we wrap up here?
No.
I won't lie. That's a lot of fun. I love. It was fun. I know that it was difficult for me to input, but
I think you did great coming into your very first RPG. You've come up
It was
with a background. You've come up with a personality. You've done really well.
And you gave me some information about the town, so I know a little bit more about it. And I think we're going to find out a lot more at the start of the next session as you guys move through the town and we discover maybe what its name is,
And
what
then
the surrounding areas look like,
and the next
and
session will be
why
a
the houses
full.
are so fortified.
And the next session will be a full game, not character gen, but it'll be a full session of
Oh, I
role-playing.
thought that's how you played. You made characters for every new game. So
Every single time you get a new character.
All right. Well, thank you, chat, for watching. If you're catching this on YouTube, thank you for checking it out. Definitely follow and subscribe if you liked the content, and keep an eye out for our next game next month. So we'll have a full 4-hour session next time, same channel, different day maybe, but 1 month from now. So yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.
yes, thank you so much, chat.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
See ya.